Page 32, Phantom of the Keys. Cut time, no sharps or flats, so we're either C major or A minor. If you look at the end, let's go to, well, actually in the beginning here, it's an A minor chord. But if you look at the end, the bottom of page 33, the last few measures, you're ending on A's. It's A minor, is what it is. They give you a little warm-up thing for grace notes, and the idea with that is you're using different fingers. The same notes as 2 and 3. Remember, the grace note's just a quick little note. 3 and 4, 4 and 5. Should do it in both hands, but you can't mirror the hands here because although a grace note could be from the note above going down, or here, most of the time it goes up. So when we practice it, we usually just go up. So in the left hand, it needs to start at the bottom. Same thing, but you can still use different fingers. The 3 and 2, or the 3 and 4, or the 5 and 4. That's a little awkward. We don't do that very much because it's awkward to put a little finger on the black key. Normally it'd be more like a here type thing. Just for practice. It's something to do, huh? When I learn a piece that's in cut time, I first put it in 4/4 time to learn it. And then once I learn it, I put it back in cut time. So I'm going to talk about this as though it's in 4/4 time, where a quarter note gets a count, and then we'll do the cut time later. One hand at a time. Right hand, first measure when the right hand comes in was just a broken A chord. And next measure is 4 chord, broken 4 chord. It's a D minor chord. And then the eighth notes, 1 and 2 and 1. If you've been practicing the scales, the C major and A minor scales, this should be fairly easy for you because that thumb coming under, that's a part of an A minor scale fingering. So shouldn't be too bad. If you haven't been practicing, I encourage you to go practice them. Use my scale videos on C major and A minor. If you don't know the scale, 1 octave up and down, learn the scale. If you do know the scale, then go ahead and go 2 octaves up and down. Third line down here, we have the sequence going down. Each one of these starts with third finger. Then crossover, second finger. It's an F natural. It sounds weird, but it's in minor. And then the grace note, well, when I first learned it, I leave out the ornaments, and a grace note is an ornament, so I just leave it out, just the E. And then you do that again. Let's go to the top of page 33. You're up, you're ending page 32 here. And you can reach up, or you can move. I'll get to the lift up and move later. Right now I'm going to reach up. It's here. 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And then D and an E. And then here, just reach up with a little finger. Second line, these are E's. See the second measure there in second line? That is the third ledger line above. Well, 1 ledger line is an A, 2 is a C, 3 is an E. I think you should just memorize that because you can see 3 ledger lines, I hope, and just know there's 3. You don't have to count them. You can just see there's 3. So just memorize the third ledger line up on treble clef is an E, way up here. You're playing octaves, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Then you come down to D's. 1, 2, 3, 4. Next line, you come down and do C's, and then B's. Just going down. For the coda, it's just a chromatic passage. And here, they're using third finger on all the black keys here. You have to use second here because there's no black key here. And again here, second here. And you just keep going all the way up. If you can do the chromatic scale, and what I typically do when I see this is I look at the first note in that passage, it's an F. And then I quickly look at the end of the passage to see where it ends, and it's an A up here. So from here to here, I just do a chromatic scale from there to there. worry about reading each note, because you can check each note to make sure it really is a chromatic passage, because in some music, when you get this, they'll leave out a note here and there. You won't get every note, so you have to check on that. Then in the last line, second measure, because of the 8VA, you're up here. And then the last two measures, second to the last measure, next to the last measure. Yeah, it's a 15 MA, which is 2 octaves above where it's written in the music. It's written here. You go 2 octaves up, here and here. If you have a short keyboard, you don't have it, you just play the highest A you have. Otherwise, it's here. Left hand, broken chords, A minor. Second line, it's the D minor chord, the 4 chord. I don't see anything hard about the left hand there. Let's go to the top of page 33. You're here. These are half notes and then D natural. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And an A minor chord. Then an E. Hold that down for 8 counts and do it again, and then do it again, and then do it again, but for 6 counts. And then here. For the coda, you're holding that A down for 4 measures. That's a total of 16 counts. Wonderful. And then the last line, the last few measures, you're 1 and 2 and. And then the last measure, well, that's 3 ledger lines below the bass staff. 1 ledger line is here, 2 ledger line is here, 3 ledger line is here. Just memorize it. 3 ledger lines below the bass clef is an A. It's like 3 ledger lines above the treble clef was an E. Well, we got an A here, but that has an 8VA under it. So you go down an octave. So here, you hear. It's actually the lowest note on the piano. It's an A. On an 88 key piano it is. And again, if you have a short keyboard, you just play the lowest A you have. I didn't mention before that when I first start working on these, I play everything connected, everything legato. I put in all the staccato and junk later. So right now I'm still trying to connect it. So put the hands together. And that's a half note up, one at a time there. And you do that again. Let's go over to page 33 in the second line. It's fairly simple. You're just playing E's. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For the coda, left hand just holding it down. 1 and 2 and. And right when I play the A, I lift up. One, 2, 3, 4, 1. There's a rest in between each of those. So that comes on beat 1. This is the last 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. And which finger you use to play these notes, I really don't care. They're saying third finger, but when I get to the extremes, I want to use the finger closest to it. So I typically will use little finger. Unless it's really very loud, then the little finger really isn't strong enough. Then I got to use a stronger finger. This is very soft, so I don't care. I'd use little finger on that A. And here. A little finger on that A. What they did, a little finger. Once I have a handle on that and I get rid of the hesitations, I can go real slow as you gotta go, it doesn't matter. Then we can put in the staccatos. And I'm gonna use short staccatos, hinging at the wrist here. Trick. Can you play legato in one hand and staccato in the other? You have to lift up between the slurs because it's a staccato. Play the left hand legato. Let's go over to the top of page 33. You're up here. Lift up in the right hand between the slurs. And the right hand here, you connect them. And that's staccato. The next line, staccato's in the right hand. It's so forth. And for the coda, it's fairly straightforward. I think you're connecting all of this. Till you get to the top, the right hand staccato, and then the left hand staccato, staccato, staccato. Okay. Now the grace notes. Usually I do the grace notes with the articulation, but let's talk these grace notes. It's just a quick little note right before the note. Different ways of interpreting it between you and your teacher, or whatever you like. Experiment. Most people will play it, I think, before the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that the E would come on the beat. Then other people would play the grace note on the beat. 1, 2, 3. So this comes up when I play that. 1, 2, 3, 4. You'll have to decide how you want to do it. You can also play the two together and release the grace note. 1, 2, 4. Depends on what you're after in the piece and the effect you're wanting to have. In this case, with a phantom, you might want to do them together and release one. 1, 2. At top of page 33 on the last measure of the first line, you get another one. You're here. Staccato, accented, look like and the next line is so forth. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2. You get the idea. Last line at the bottom on the coda, the last couple of measures, you're here, and then here, here. Just real quick. Once we have a handle on all that mess, then we can add the dynamics. Starts out soft. Keep the left hand out of the way for the most part. We want to hear the right hand for the most part. So this is soft. Then the right hand needs to take over the soft. So the left hand needs to go to very soft. Very mysterious here. Come up to moderately soft, but that's the right hand. The left hand needs to stay soft. You have a crescendo in the second measure there, the measure 8. You're going to go up to moderately loud. There's not a lot of difference, so you're not getting too much louder. Just I would do it with each, make each one of those just a hair louder. So again, at the beginning of the line, soft, moderately soft, a little bit, a little louder, loud. Now moderately loud, and then go on up to loud. That's loud. Don't get loud till there. And that's a sforzando on that. That's going to make it very loud. They put an accent on it. I don't agree with the idea of putting an accent on a sforzando note. A sforzando is an accent. It's a very strong accent, but it has other things that can happen also, because it's not just an accent. The point is, I'm going to play this very loud. I don't need an accent on it. It's already there. And then come down to moderately loud in the right hand. The left hand soft. Then it's the top of page 33. Moderately soft in the right hand. Left hand's very soft. Now it's the left hand takes over. That's moderately loud. And with an accent there, that takes it up to loud. Well, you're crescendoing up, so you're loud, almost very loud. Then the second line, it says subito piano, subito P. Subito means suddenly. This means all of a sudden, because you ended the first line very loud, really. And if this isn't working for you very loud, these fingers, then use these fingers. Some other fingers stronger fingers if you need to. That's okay. But then all of a sudden you're soft. And this is both hands. Then you crescendo there to wherever you're going to go, which I'll talk about in a little bit. For the coda, you're loud here. You need to play, and it's accented. You see, this note has the last 16 counts, so play it loud enough to we would like to hear it all the way through. And then this is loud. The legato means connected. We're going to do that anyway. Now we're going to decrescendo or diminuendo through here, because you have in the second measure the coda, the diminuendo, and then in the next measure it tells you medium loud, so you've come down to medium loud, and then in the next line you get an arrow, which is the same thing as a diminuent, same difference, and you're going to go all the way down to soft. The point is we're starting at loud and we're going to go all the way down to soft. Soft there, and then stay soft. Then a little louder to moderately soft. It's got an accent. And then very soft, and stay very soft. So you started soft, you're ending soft, or you're ending very soft, really. Listen. Then the roadmap, briefly. Well, take a look at page 33 at the end of the third line. There's a DS, and they give that squiggly thingy, al coda. DS sign al coda. That's a little overkill. You just DS al coda is fine. The point is you're going to find that sign wherever it is, and that's where you go to. DC means go to the beginning. DS means go to the sign. Well, the sign, if you look, is at the top of page 32, the last measure. You go back to there. So you finish that line on 33, go back to page 32 and do that. The coda sign is that circle with the crosshairs, and that's at the end of the first line on page 33. So you're going to go to there, and when you get to there, you immediately jump down to the coda, which is the last two lines. So that's sort of the roadmap that we're taking. It has to be done with a steady beat, no hesitation. So you have to watch out for hand movements when you do this, so it can get tricky. Then speed-wise, well, in cut time, we want to feel it in 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Depends on how fast you can be accurate with everything. Don't go beyond that. So you find the hardest part of the piece, whatever you're struggling with, and how fast can you play that accurately. That's your speed. Then they've added pedal. Well, isn't that nice? You don't need pedal on this piece. You're just fine without pedal. But they put it in, so let's talk about it. And why did they add it? Well, I'm not sure, because we only pedal for specific reasons. We don't pedal just to pedal. But Faber tends to like to pedal a lot of stuff. I'm not sure why. But you'll see the pedal at the end of the third line on page 32, and again at the end of the first line on page 33. What we're doing here is we're giving it overtones, because we're getting loud and excited here. So we build up, we can give it the overtones. Well, okay, if that's what you want. Because it's loud, you can push the pedal down with the note or right after it, whichever. And you lift the pedal with the right hand. When the right hand comes up, the pedal comes up. So on page 32, I'm going to push it down on that measure where the pedal is, right with it, with the right hand. When that comes, so there's a little silence before we go. It's like taking a breath. So then at the top of page 33, when you do that, as you play the staccato note, lift the pedal, because we want to hear the staccato. There, and that's the pedaling. Please don't copy me. If I played this 10 different times, I'd play it 10 different ways. It's all part of the interpreting. You got to get comfortable with the notes and everything going on that you can start getting into it. You can get a little louder and softer here and there. That's okay, it's no big deal. I like to play it with you very slowly to double check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any dynamics, and I'm going to do this in 4/4 time because we're going to go slow. So I'll give us 4 quarter note counts, and let's play it together. We're going to do the DS and just like it's written. We're just not doing dynamics. Do it one hand at a time if you need to, that's fine. If you're going to use pedal, you put your foot on the pedal at the beginning and you leave the foot on the pedal for the whole piece. Don't be putting the foot on the pedal and taking it off. Leave it there. 1, 2, ready, go. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Is it this fun? 18, 3, 4. Boring. 1, 2, 3, 4. The tendency is to want to speed this up. Don't. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3. Back to the sign. To the coda, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Rest. 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 2, 3, 4.